Hi, my name is Mary,
My name is Ashton.
and we live in Chicago, Illinois, and we have a baby girl. So we started looking for postpartum care around the time where I was about 6 months pregnant. I had no idea that there were postpartum doulas available. I had heard of birth doulas, but not postpartum doulas. And so we started looking, basically Googling what we
Literally,
could find.
literally Google
Google.
popped up everywhere.
And Chicago Family Doulas actually came up. It was the highest rated. I went through all of the reviews because sometimes, you never know. And just what struck me was just everyone had a fantastic experience. I also noticed that when people named the doulas that they worked with, there were all different types of names. So it wasn't just the same person. Everyone had a fantastic experience with the different doulas available. And so we decided to reach out. Again, I was about 6 months pregnant. My family is not in the United States. They're actually in Ghana, West Africa. And my mom wasn't able to come and support as she had health issues. And so I was a little bit worried about just what we were going to do. This is our first baby, and we had no idea what to expect. We both love sleep. So
Definitely missing out on that now.
yes, we are missing out on sleep, but that was our first decision in terms of wanting to make sure that we had support, wanting to make sure we had the knowledge around, babies and what we could expect for the first few months, and also the ability to just get some much needed sleep and us time as a couple. So we reached out to Chicago Family Doulas. We planned ahead. We are very meticulous in our planning, and we had the dates set about when our specific doula would start. We also met our doula ahead of time. She came over to visit us, to introduce ourselves. She brought flowers and cake, which I loved, which was so sweet and just made us feel very, very comfortable. Ultimately, we ended up having a change in plans. We had an emergency and we had a death in the family right after our daughter was born. And we just needed support, and our designated doula wasn't due to start right away. And so we contacted Chicago Family Doulas, and they were amazing, absolutely amazing. They were so compassionate. Anna, we spoke with you. We spoke with a couple people on our team, and you were so kind. And we really, really needed that. And you sent a doula out the very next day. And it was more than just care for our baby. We just needed a few hours for ourselves to cope and get through like a very traumatic experience. And also to just gather ourselves for our baby girl. And so that was just,
It was needed.
it was so needed. And so we did have two doula experiences. They were both fantastic. And it was more than just sleep. It was, just teaching us about our baby, teaching us sleep routines, washing bottles, swaddling, teaching us how to swaddle for sure. And a lot of education and just a lot of support for us as parents. Our first doula that night helped me with breastfeeding. My milk didn't come in until about 5 days after I left the hospital. So I was feeling I wasn't feeling confident that I was going to be able to breastfeed. And she really, really helped me get through that point. So it's more than just getting some sleep as parents and overnight care. It's care for mom, care for dad, and care for baby as well.
So usually the night would start off pretty good because she's coming. So she would usually come in, we'll do a check-in. Around the time it usually came, our daughter would be like right at that brink of sleep or fighting her sleep. So she would usually be in her swaddle already, but the early on days she would be waking up consistently. So usually we'll just transfer her to our doula. She would put her back down in probably 3 minutes, probably 20 minutes quicker than we could. And then she would just start, doing different things from, making sure the dishes were done. If there were clothes there, she would help fold those. She'll even cut up our food for us most days. Just we had vegetables or fruit. She'll chop them up, put them in containers for us. She really just helped do everything around the house for the most part. And I didn't expect that. That was probably my real reservations about it. I knew someone would be in the home, but I thought it would just be strictly childcare. She did everything. She helped, and we were just in the room, sleep. So, and then mornings, same thing. When the baby wakes up, she will wake up. And then even at the beginning of the beginning of the journey, when we would transfer, it would be like, all right, that's it. We're kind of done now. You know what I mean? But then after a while, it became more routine. And then same thing, breakfast would be made in the morning. Dishes will still be done. Bottles will be washed. It's just waking up and then not having to do all of the child care procedure helped a lot.
So from start to finish, the process was just so easy and seamless with Chicago Family Doulas. We discovered Chicago Family Doulas online. And so we put in an email and we heard back, I think pretty much like the very next day. And so we had an intake call, I guess you would call it. And so they were interested in just like what we were looking for. They were really, I think, intentional in pairing us with our doula. They went through everything. Even just the process to pay was just super seamless. And I think what struck us was just how personalized everything was. I was shocked to find out that Anna was the owner because she was in contact with us immediately. She was checking in to see how the doula experience was going, even after we finished our journey with having a postpartum doula. She still checked in to check and see what support we needed. I think we even talked with someone from like finance about how to make sure, setting up the payment process was seamless. So everything was taken care of. And we just felt very loved and very taken care of by Chicago Family Doulas. I think our biggest worry or concern was just maybe the awkwardness of having someone that we didn't know immediately in our home for like a significant amount of time. I also personally was like, well, what is she going to think? Like, we live in a condo, the baby's screaming, like, is it going to be uncomfortable for her? I'm so happy we got over that. We quickly built a rapport with both the doulas that helped us out. And all of those things just went out the window. They are strictly there to care for you and your baby. And as I'm thinking about this, I'm realizing it's not just about the baby. It's also about mom. It's also about dad. It's also about parents. They're here to make sure that you feel good so that your baby will feel good. So I'm happy that, some of the hesitations that we may have had were completely unfounded.
Definitely. Even some, commonalities when we have different hobbies, but kind of the same hobbies. I take pictures. Our doula took pictures. Of course, she's in the home, so she saw my film laying around. She was like, "Oh, who take pictures?" "Oh, me." And that even sparked even deeper conversation as well too. But I was hesitant at first about it, but after day 2, that went out the window. Very comfortable. Definitely would recommend the service to anyone. Like, it was amazing. It helped during a trying time, and it just helped in general. Also, like you said, guided us in a way where, being new parents, trying to figure out how to do certain things, or what's this cue the baby's doing, or why is she yelling at me right now when I just fed her, or why she keep bringing out the swaddle. Just learning your child, and then also learning how to adapt to being a new parent. It definitely like smoothed the transition for us.
We learned so much. I will say that I didn't expect to learn so much. And, with my mom not being there to help me out, the things that I may have thought that like my mom would help me out with, I felt like I got that from our doulas.
I think it was probably the biggest impact for me and her because of the situations. We were dealing with 2 back-to-back deaths. One being my father, 2 days after our daughter was born. So there was really no break. As soon as we were checking her out the hospital, we were coming home, and I was planning a funeral. But then the next day, like she said, she contacted you all, and then literally the next day we had someone there to give us a break. We needed it. We were in the hospital for 4 days. Was it 4 or 5?
Took 5 days.
Like 5 days. Then I was going back and forth to the hospital with my father. And so just having you guys available for those moments was pretty integral in the process of, becoming a new parent, also losing a parent. So that was a huge transition. It wasn't an easy process in any capacity, but those 2 days out the week, having, someone available to help out, it really meant a lot to us.
It did. Yeah. And it also helped me just with my confidence in being a new mom. Our first baby, we went into it just having no clue what to do. I also knew I wanted to breastfeed. I didn't know how because my milk didn't come in the hospital. So I was just assuming like, well, that's it for me. I just am not going to breastfeed. And, our doula was like, no, like she brought over pumps for me from her house. And so she gave me recommendations, walked me through what to do. She also checked in on me and was like, how's it going? How's the pump going? And so just, it wasn't just overnight care for our baby. It was overnight care for us as a couple. And, it's so difficult as a couple when you have a newborn and you're just you don't know what to expect and it's stressful. And Chicago Family Doulas really alleviated a lot of that stress for us during those first critical few months. Okay, and talk loud. He's a quiet person, but like talk louder. Oh, you have a mic. See, I'm always like talk louder.
So roll Mikey, they hear.
Okay, you can take this one. And cheer for baby as well.
You're amazing. Are you an actress?
So,
You're amazing.
I used to want to be a news anchor, so I'm getting my this is like my dream.
You're hired.
Thank you. But no, very seriously, like it was such a devastating time for us. And just you guys like sending someone immediately and just being so compassionate and not being like, well, autism can't start till 2 weeks and that's just what it is. We needed it. Like we just needed one day for ourselves, one night to ourselves. And just, it's a lot.
And as parents, you don't get to.
But we.
No. Yeah.
From that moment.
Yeah.
I always think that with anything that happened in our lives.
You never get to turn it off. Yeah. You always have to be mom. You have to work. And yeah. So yes, it was a relief. And it was just always a relief because we were like, oh, the doula's coming. It gets to sleep.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
I'm not pressing. No, that is true. And we always hear like, we can make it this.
Yeah.
Like she's coming.
Yeah. That's exactly what I would say. We're like, she's coming tomorrow. And you can share this. Just to be candid, he wasn't sure about, having someone in our home and, just the experience of that. And you're a believer.
I agree now.
Well, we hear that often, like dads will say, I can do it.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then when the doula gets there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Makes you like,
this is sleep too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a big difference. And then to know your wife's getting taken care of, that makes a
definitely.
Yeah.